Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am excited to share with you the updates, yes, about my 11-month-old, and he is doing fantastic. He is getting cuter. Didn't know that was possible. Why do you have one of, hold on. Get that out of your mouth, silly goose. I am still losing hair like crazy, and he's finding it, and somehow his mouth is what ends up finding it. Gross. He's crawling, like really crawling now. He was doing the military army crawl for a while, but now he is legitimately crawling, like the real deal. And he does not show any interest in walking just yet. He pulls himself up to his knees, and that's about as far as he'll go. I'm not really in a big hurry to push him. I'm not like in this rush, we gotta get you crawling as soon as possible thing. I think he'll get there when he does, and I am totally fine with savoring each moment. Because there's no going backwards. Once he walks, like he's a walker, and then he's gonna be a runner. Yeah, so I'll show you guys some really beautiful video footage. We have done lots of hiking lately, and in California there's something called the super bloom, which is we got a ton of rain, so the wildflowers have just blossomed like nothing you've seen before. So if you follow me on Instagram at Michelle Motivation, you've probably already seen some cool photos, but I didn't show video there, so you guys will catch that video. Yes, you remember, you're great. He's a great hiking partner, honestly. He's happy, he's cheerful. When he's tired, he just takes a nap. Like, he's great. He's eating so much, and he loves a wide variety of foods. It's funny because one day he'll love something, and the next day he's like, Mom, that was like so 24 hours ago. He doesn't want it anymore. Are you cracking up? We started to teach him how to like pump his fist because we're telling him that his birthday party is coming up. He's gonna be 1. Wow. So he pumps his fist in the air. He's like, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. So basically we're raising a Jersey Shore kid. He's also a lot more fun to take out to restaurants now because he eats food. You don't have to keep him entertained with toys. So you hand him something, like I handed him half of a like cucumber today, and he just goes like to town chewing on the sides of it, gnawing on it, and then handed him an orange, and he just starts chewing on that. He's doing really well with eating a wide variety of foods, as I mentioned, which makes me very proud. He's also starting to say more words. He's saying cat, he says dog, he says eat, he says wow, he says what, he says dada. Guess what he doesn't say? Yeah, he doesn't say mama, which I think is totally rude. Why don't you say mama? Can you say mama? No, he's gonna keep saying eat. So I will confess that he has said mama once, but it doesn't really count. So he was making this like rawr noise, and I said, say mama, and he went rawr, and I said, say mama, rawr, and I said, come on, say mama, and he went mama. But I'm not gonna count that because that's the only time it happened. It doesn't happen, like it hasn't happened ever since then, so that doesn't count. Yeah, exactly. Those are excuses. You should say mama because I'm the one that birthed you out of my body. Ah! He has this awesome playroom. He's got a really nice bedroom. He's got a ball pit in our living room. And my 11-month-old happens to love playing in my closet. All the fun places that we could be, but my closet just is the most fun. So that's where we hang out. And also the lighting in here is not very flattering. Can we relocate? What do you think? I love you. I love you. I love you. My closet. He acts like we're torturing him when we put him in his playpen full of toys. Like that's the worst thing ever. But he does like going for bicycle rides. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw the fun bike riding that we did. My husband has a mountain bike, so my son rides on the back of the mountain bike, and we got him his own like helmet. So cute. And then I rollerblade, and those of you who do see me on social media, you saw I bit it, so I'm currently recovering. My knee is not so cute right now. Hello. Hi, what would you like to add? Yeah. So we are planning his first birthday. I'll talk about that more in the next video. So if you want to be kept in the loop, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I want to share with you guys why we don't let him watch TV. Secondly, what I want to share in this video is I started my period for the first time since I got pregnant, gave birth. That was the first period. So I'll tell you about that. And the third thing is I want to just kind of do like a public service announcement when it comes to raising children, but especially when it comes to raising boys, about protecting their emotional development. So stay tuned for what I have to say. Okay, a newborn's brain triples in size between birth and, can you hear all the toys going off? Like every toy that he could possibly play with right now that makes noise, he's gonna play with it. Of course you are. Anyways, so it triples in size by the time they're between the age of newborn to 2. And when you think about the fact that they're absorbing as much as they possibly can during that time, you want to fill their brain with education, obviously, as much as you can. And studies are showing, and experts agree, that babies actually learn best from external sources. That, you know, things that claim, TV shows that claim to be really good for teaching your baby, when they looked at the brain, they're actually not as educational as they lead you to believe. Now, I'm sharing with you why we're choosing not to have our son watch TV till he's probably 2. But that doesn't mean you guys need to send me a whole bunch of messages on why you guys do let your kids watch TV. Before you get your message started to me, to send to me this whole thing about why you let your kids watch TV and why I'm wrong, I just want you to know that I'm not judging anyone who does let their kids watch TV. I'm just sharing with you why we don't let our son watch TV yet. And by the way, we love TV. Like, my husband and I love to watch TV. We're big Walking Dead fans, and we have all of our TV shows that we watch together. So we're not against TV. We're against TV during a time where we know that it's not developmentally appropriate and that there are other things that we can do for our child to give him the best benefit at the beginning of his life. You're so cute. I'll let you do your own research on this one, but childhood obesity is higher in children who watch TV. And it's specifically when you feed your child in front of the television. That's one of the reasons that they will actually eat more than they need, because they're not paying attention to their body. They're just watching TV and stuffing their face. I know, because I'm guilty of doing the same thing. Also, when you have a kid that's sedentary, just sitting there watching TV or moving a lot less while they're watching TV, they're not getting as much physical exercise. I know for a fact, when we've gone to a restaurant, let's say, and they have a sports game on TV, my son will just stare at it and zombie boy out of it. Hello, can you hear me? Anyone home? Kind of thing. And he'll just open his mouth and we can just shovel food in and he just chews it and doesn't even notice anything. It's he just turns off his brain. So we don't want him turning off his brain. We like his brain functioning really well. Also, when you think about, at least for us, so I've got him on a really consistent sleep schedule now. So he's generally in bed, within a half-hour window around 7 or 7:30. He wakes up around 7 or 7:30. He's got 2 naps a day. We don't really have a lot of playtime with him outside of all the sleep time he gets. And so, then of course you have to feed him, and I'm breastfeeding, and then he eats solid foods, and then you're cleaning things up. So there's not a lot of opportunity actually for us to sit down and really read books and interact and teach him how to be gentle with our dog and how to start to learn how to put your toys away and what color is this. And so we have found that when we use our time with him wisely, and for us wisely is not in front of the television, it makes a big difference. And some people I know will say oh, I only let my kids watch TV while I'm doing the dishes so that I can get that done, or while I'm cooking dinner. And that's totally fine. Again, no judgment. Everyone can parent exactly how they want. I'm not here to bash anybody. But what I have found is that he is so much more patient because he's had to wait. He hasn't had something distract him. He's actually had to sit there and figure out, okay, she's cooking right now. She's not playing with me right this second. So, okay, well, I'll play with this instead while I'm waiting. And so I give him pots and pans and spoons and bowls, and he sits on the kitchen floor and he cooks with me, right? So there's a lot of interaction that would not have happened if we were relying on the TV or if we were just incorporating the TV as much as well. And then another thing too is I watch him solve problems that I don't think he would have the patience to solve if it was for TV. Because when children are watching TV, this is just a fact, the screen is changing constantly. So they have something entertaining them every second. It takes a lot more effort to to have them stay focused on something that's not flipping or turning or moving or bright colors or lights or songs or anything like that. So there's a book that he has that has little bubbles, if you will, that you pop. You push on them and they make a noise. The plastic like bends a different direction and it makes a pop sound. He looked at that book, and I want to say for like maybe like 8 or 9 minutes, tried to figure out how to make the bubbles pop. And I've seen children, you know, I've taken care of children for 20 years. The kids who watch TV get really impatient really quick because on TV, everything keeps moving for them. It keeps them entertained. It doesn't sit still like a book. It doesn't sit still like a page does. And they don't have to think. They can just zone. And so you can watch my son think. You can see those wheels turning and you can see how he's trying to figure something out. And when something's hard to do, he doesn't give up quickly. Now, of course, that could just be his personality, but I know that him not watching TV has encouraged that behavior. So definitely take some time, look into it. There's studies that are now connecting kids who watch TV with having attention deficit disorder and so forth. So do your own research, make your own choices. Yes, lovely. Someone gave my son this dog ball. It says you're a nice puppy dog. He loves it. There are lots of studies out there that will add to kind of this conversation. So if you're interested, feel free to take a look. Yes, I totally can't wait till I can cuddle up on the couch like with my son and watch a really great movie with him and teach him about all the classics and stuff like that. I can't wait for that. Yeah, you're excited about that too? We just want to do it when it's developmentally appropriate. I started my period. And the thing about me getting my period that's frustrating is that I don't have fallopian tubes. So having a period is just annoying because I can't have babies naturally. So a period does nothing for me. On a positive note though, everyone says that when you get your first period after you've had a baby that it's like the worst thing ever. And so far, it's totally fine, like way better than they used to be. And so I'm hoping that childbirth made pregnancy made my periods better. Curious, for those of you watching, what was the difference for you? Were yours worse? Were yours better? I would love to know. I'm on day 2, and usually day 2 was the day where I'd want to stay in bed and curl up in a ball and felt like somebody was sawing into my abdomen. But I do feel the emotional effects of being on my period. I'm not like all bloated. Physical effects are good, but the emotional effects, I definitely am a lot more emotional and hormonal. Like I was watching a TV show and there was a baby crying and I felt like I wanted to cry while the baby was crying because the baby was crying for his mom. His mom left, and that made me really sad. And then the other day I gave my son a haircut and my husband was like, he saw the haircut and he was like, what did you do? And he was like, it doesn't look good in the back. And normally I'd be like, shut up, I like it, it looks good, or whatever. I'd just be feisty. And instead I was like, that's not nice that you said that. That's not very nice. I tried my best. And I was all emotional. So definitely a little more hormonal. And I guess, I should feel happy that I haven't had a period for 10 months. And actually it's been more than 10 months because I didn't get a period obviously all through pregnancy. But I do feel like it's going to be a bummer if this is back again, because I enjoyed not having to like figure out what days I'm going to be on my period, and I could just wear whatever I want, whenever I want, and well, is what it is. First world problems, right? So my son is asleep in his bed and I'm going to have to go wake him up because we're going to go to a class, And if you guys follow me on Instagram at Michelle Motivation, you saw we went to a paint party yesterday and took off all the baby's clothes except for diapers and put paint all over the floor and let them just crawl around and play in it. And they definitely had a good time. Check out the pictures on my Instagram if you didn't see them. It's really fun. Lighten up the video for a second. Let me show you some awesome views of the hikes that we've done recently. Beautiful or what? I'm telling you, I could just hike every single day. Matter of fact, I was thinking like, if I was gonna make like a career change, what would I do? What would I do? I know, I could like lead. I could be a mom's hike group leader. That's what I could do. I could just lead moms. Doesn't have to be just moms, but it's fun with moms and like their babies on hikes. We could just hike and I could just show them like the world. I can show you the world. Okay, I should never sing, obviously. You don't need me to explain why. You just heard me sing. Okay, let's get back on topic. I'm gonna share with you another philosophy, if you will, that I have about parenting, and it goes for boys and girls, but I find it especially important that we talk about it with regards to boys. So, my family absolutely adore my son. They just adore him. And when something happens to him, it makes them sad, right? Like if he's learning to crawl and he falls and he bonks his head and, you know, they're like, oh, poor baby. Oh no, poor baby. I want to encourage people to not say that. He's not a poor baby. He's okay. Let him figure it out. He's just learning. He doesn't need to be, you know, felt like he's a victim. We don't need to encourage that mentality as he grows older. Now, I get that as a baby, he doesn't fully understand everything we're saying. So we're lucky for that. But as he grows and gets bigger, we don't want to say, oh, poor guy. Oh, you poor baby every time he falls. Instead, I would encourage you to say things like, and this is what I've told my family, like, oh, I saw you fall down. You were trying to get to your toy and you fell down. Are you okay? And that's it. Like, let's not over dramatize it. Hi, sweet boy. Let's not make it something that it's not. Let's just move along. But on the flip side of that, let's not make them feel like they're not allowed to feel. So if he, let's say, bonks his head, which he does at least once a day, one thing that my grandmother, who is one of my best friends, and I love her more than I could describe to you, she would say, it's okay, you're tough, and she would try to distract him out of crying. And she would tell him, bless you. And she would say, you're tough, look, here's this thing, come on, you're a tough guy, don't cry. And when you think about what that's teaching our children, it's teaching them that, like, no, you're not allowed to feel. Yep, I know you just hurt yourself and it hurts, but you don't feel it. No, don't feel it. Like, stuff it under. And hey, that's right. And it also, you know, saying, oh, you're tough. Actually, he doesn't need to be tough, ever, in his whole life. Just because he's a boy doesn't mean that I need him to grow up to be some macho man. I actually want him to grow up very in touch with who he is, very comfortable with feeling whatever he feels. And I think part of the reason people turn to alcohol, or they turn to antidepressants, or they turn to something to numb themselves is because they've never been allowed to process how they feel, or they've been made to feel disappointed or embarrassed by feeling that way. I mean, how many times have you heard somebody say, I know I shouldn't feel this, but I know I shouldn't be, but like I'm really sad, or I know I should just suck it up, but like I'm really embarrassed. Like it's almost like we're not allowed to feel what we feel. And the truth is, when you allow yourself to feel, you allow yourself to deal with it, then you heal from it and you just move on. So instead of saying like, oh, you're tough, and distracting him, I'll come sit down next to him and I'll say, oh, I saw what happened. Like I just narrate. I saw, yeah, you were crawling and then you bonked your head on the corner of the table because you were trying to get your ball. And he'll just like rub his head and go and like cry next to me, and I'll say, that hurt, huh? And I give him a kiss, and I'll ask him like, are you okay? Do you want to play, or do you need a hug? And truthfully, when I just allow him to feel whatever he's feeling, he just moves on from it so quickly. Now, again, I get that he's 11 months old and he like is absorbing a portion of this and not all of it, but having taken care of children for over 20 years, this works on all ages. You know, it really does. I'll tell you one other quick story. I was taking care of this cute little boy. We'll call him G, little G. And G was running to music class with one of his friends. They both tripped. They both tripped over the same like sidewalk was like uneven. And so they both tripped over it. Well, his friend, I think his friend's name was Elliot. I don't remember. We'll just say it was Elliot. His friend Elliot saw that his knee was bleeding. And his nanny was like, oh, no, you're okay. You're tough. You're tough. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. You're a big boy. Big boys don't cry. You're fine. He just kept going like, ow, 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 and pointing to it and looking down at it. And she was like, no, you're fine. Here. Here, you want a drink of water? Hear this? And so what I did was I went over to little G, who also had a bloody knee. And I said the same things I've already shared. Like, oh, I saw you were running because you were so excited to go to music class and then you fell and you scratched your knee. Is it bleeding? And he's like, yeah, it's bleeding. Ow. And he was crying. And I said, yeah, that looks like it hurt. And then I said, do you know what the blood is doing? Do you know what's happening? And he said, no. And I explained how blood brings oxygen and it helps clean something. And the more I was explaining it to him and I was asking, does it still hurt? And he said, yeah. And I said, do you feel like you need a Band-Aid or do you want to let some air get to it? And he had this complete different response, total different reaction. And by the way, he was totally like excited about his knee being bloody. Moments later, we walked into the music class and Elliot was never able to get it together for music. The whole class was still upset. And I felt like, dude, just let the kid have a minute. Like, let him feel that he hurts his knee. Let him feel that it hurts. Like, give him that. Whereas little G was like, everybody, look, my knee has oxygen and it's got red to clean it. And everybody was like, what? His knee is bloody. And I was like, yes. And I explained to him, you know, like trying to explain to everybody else at the same time, that blood carries oxygen so your body can breathe, and the red blood is cleaning his cut. And so that's just an example. I have tried this out on so many kids of so many ages, and it just works. So please consider letting yourself and your children feel, deal, and heal. Okay? That's my philosophy. And I'll get off my soapbox now. When I told my grandmother, hi, sweet boy, how I felt about her saying that to him, and I don't want her to use those words, and I asked her to please not tell him that he's tough, and please don't try and distract him, let him, you know, work through it. She was super receptive, and she was like, no, that makes total sense. I totally understand. Okay, I won't do that. And so, you know, your family wants what's best for your child. And they're just doing their best and they might not know any better. So it's important that if you don't feel comfortable with the way something's going, right? That you say to them, I would like you to do it differently. Yes. Hi, sweet boy. And then they will be receptive. And if you have family members who are not respectful of the way that you want things done and are not willing to do things the way you want, then I'm going to challenge you to revisit who you allow to be around your family, yourself, your baby, and so forth. I am sitting in the car. It's pouring. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain. You can hear the rain, huh, baby boy? And I purposely didn't bring umbrellas for us because I like exposing my son to like real life. Yeah. We met somebody who was like super freaked out about rain, and like when it rains, she's like, I can't like stand the way it feels, and I can't stand like how like everything gets all wet, and it just like when it touches my skin, it like freaks me out. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, we better expose our son to rain so that hopefully he just becomes like desensitized to it. So in this wild world that we live in, we will get water on our body. Are you brave? Can you handle it? Yeah? You ready? We're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna brave the rain. Update, we survived. We totally survived the rain. And we are in one piece and we are not harmed. If you are not a subscriber, please be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can hear about the whole 1-year birthday thing, which will be on the next video. That is so crazy that it's the next video that I have a 1-year-old. wild. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know what my voice just did, but I appreciate hearing from you. So drop me a comment, tell me your thoughts. If you disagree with me, totally fine. I respect everyone's different approach on parenting as long as it leads to a healthy, happy family. Take care, guys. Bye.